quarterback. Showed a lot of character. Like I said, this team all year, we haven't reached all of our goals. We went into those games against those number one teams thinking we were going to win and trying to win, being close and number 4. But didn't get discouraged. A lot of kids in today's time that don't go their way on the back. These kids kept practicing. We got better and better each and every week. In a lot of areas, learning how to compete. Very proud of it. There's a great team. Special teams was a big thing. Seth hit that big kick, which was awesome. We got the onside kick, which was critical. Got the game, but we got to control the line of scrimmage in the second half on both sides of the ball pretty much. And I think that was the key to getting things going and not turning it over like we did. But we said going into ball games, conditioning, turnovers, ball security, and open field tackling are 3 of the things that you've got to be able to do in special teams. And we didn't do 2 of them very well in the first half, and then we did better in the second half and played much better. Questions?
Yeah, Jimbo, about Kellen, can you talk about what adjustments y'all might have made, and did you have to encourage him to run more in the second half?
No, we did. We had some run call. We had it in the game plan. We have the ability in our game plan to vary and go to quarterback runs, and whether we're in 2 tights, 2 backs, or whatever we are, we had those things in and we worked them. And we just called them more and we had some things early we thought we had, which we moved the ball, we just turned it over. But then we went to that and started working, and that was a numbers game. And he checked the line. He checked into some of those plays and saw the look and did a great job in the line of scrimmage. And here's the thing. When you play quarterback, a lot of times things don't go your way perfectly. It's easy to get frustrated. It's a great sign of maturity when you don't, and you go back and do the things each and every play to give yourself and team a chance to win when you're not playing your best. I like to measure players when they're not playing their best. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's good when they're playing good. When you're not playing as good early, and you're able to battle back and do things like that, that's that play.
We spent the week trying to guess who was going to help you out at running back. Could you speak to the job that Nias did in
Let
that
me tell you
role?
something. That guy's a heck of a football player, man. You can put him anywhere. You can put him in tackle. I think he'd make a block. I think he'd block a 300-pounder. I really do. I have the most respect for him. He's natural back there. I think he did one heck of a job. He's a natural runner. He blocked well. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. You saw, and you can create mismatches with him. I think he's found a pretty good home in many ways that we can use him. And as he got older, the maturity and the bowl practice allowed us to have those practices to, like a spring practice. That's where you hear us coaches say that all the time. We wouldn't be able to do that during the season. That's very hard to do because you can't get the reps. And I thought he was outstanding tonight.
Jimbo, without Matabike, the 4-sack, 9-tackle for loss performance, guys like DeMarvin Leal stepping up, Tyree Johnson.
Those guys up front, I thought, put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, had the sacks, got penetration, and we overran some runs, but we got to fit them better in the secondary, the linebackers and safeties. But I thought our front was very physical, and I thought played really well. Those young guys, Leal Brown, PD was outstanding in there. Tyree Johnson, Mike, all those guys. They did a heck of a Josh Rogers. Those guys were outstanding in there.
Jimbo over here to your left. You guys have only been outscored in the second half twice this season. What is it there at the halftime that you guys are able to make those adjustments and play so much better in the second half?
Well, I think we teach conceptually, but I think our kids, we have intelligent kids who listen and want to play hard. And then just because things aren't going well, they play their tails off. And I think also it goes back, and I think we practice hard. I think we're a 60-minute team. I don't think we back off in it. I think we get stronger in the second half, and we're able to make those adjustments with the mental toughness and mental execution, which we have to have.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about the fact that they got out to the big lead? It seemed like your guys kind of drew a line in the sand and said, hey, this is a heavyweight fight. Let's trade punches. And you took you 50 minutes to get back on top.
It did. And like I said, these bowl games, they're in a bowl game for a reason. They're a great team. You get the bowl game, you're playing a good team. And they jumped out. And especially the way the last game of the season started for us. Our team could have said, oh, my God, here we go again. They didn't. They said, all right, we're going to fix this. We're going to handle it. We're going to keep our poise. And went back to fundamentals. They went right back to fundamentals. That's what gets you back on track. Go back to what you're taught to do each and every play. Play one play at a time. They kept sawing wood. They kept pushing forward. And then they got the groove and got their confidence going to start playing well. I thought going out the second half, getting a stop on defense and going straight down to scoring on offense was very critical.
Coach, in your experience, what's the difference going into the off season when you won a bowl game as opposed to when you lost? What can that do for your team?
I'll say this: the season speaking engagements are a lot better. They're a lot more pleasant. But I just think from a confidence standpoint, and I say this: you got to learn how to prepare for a bowl game. I keep saying this: we're the only sport in America that waits a month to play. So how you got to practice, how you got to prepare, how you got to get yourself in the game. To get better, like a camp practice, then get into game mode and game planning and understanding that. And I was very proud of our guys for doing that. And it's an art to do. And And our guys are getting better and better at it.
Coach, defense allowed 163 yards there in the first quarter and then give up about 50 just over those next 2 quarters combined. With such a young defense and just kind of moving forward, how much optimism does that give you?
It gives you a lot, and I think is, and we got better. We stopped giving up the big plays in the secondary. We started fitting better, started tackling, didn't miss the open field tackles. And again, it starts up front, our secondary and our linebackers fitting it. But very happy with those guys. It's going to be a very, very talented group, I can say that.
Coach, could you just talk about the big run by Kellen and how that was such a boost, especially, because it was the first time y'all had the lead all night?
It was. He'd come off the goal line. He checked the run on the goal line to get us off for about a run, and he hit another run, and it was an option. We had an option play called, and we got the block and kept stretching. The pitch guy just got out wide, and he stuck his foot when he got north-south, and he made a guy miss. And Kellen's got great speed. He can run. He did a great job, as I say, stretching the option, which allowed everybody to get their block and just sort it out. And then when he hit the seam, it's like a zone scheme. And he got inside and he ran away from everybody. It was a big-time play, a big-time moment. Then we had the one later, and his next drive, which got us down there, we got the field goal and got the 2-score lead.
Coach, Gundy just talked about how excited he is about the future of his team. Coach, you have a ton of freshmen, sophomores playing. I'm curious how you feel.
We had 30 that we played this year. 19 true freshmen, 11 red shirts that I know that we played, and there's a lot of guys that young, and I'm very happy and excited. It's great to have young players that are talented. If they learn and get better and have an urgency to be great. You know what I'm saying? That's my challenge to them right now. We are good. We have talent in that young groups, and they have young talent, younger groups. The older guys got to conform to get better, but you got to have an urgency and a desire. And all right, you say, well, I'm gonna go practice like I did. Well, you get the same results. Why don't we practice better? Why don't we practice smarter? Why don't we practice? There's a lot to learn. We can learn some valuable lessons from this season, but the ingredients are there. We just got to get it out of them. That's my job, and I think they want to do it. There's some great kids.
Coach, Isaiah seemed like the bowl practice was good for him over the last month. What did you see from him, and how do you see him improve in this game?
Very much. I was very happy. I mean, you're talking about a guy coming in and ran for over 900 yards, I believe, now for today's game. Am I right? For the season as a true freshman and wasn't expected to play. I mean, that's a heck of a game. Playing the SEC, that's an amazing accomplishment. I'm going to tell you what he learned to do in the bowl practice. Learned to block better, learned to be a lead blocker when we put 17 in there, learned another role, which the other guys were doing while he was there, you know what I'm saying? And he keeps growing. He's a smart guy. He's a talented guy. He's big. He can be a complete back and be a heck of a player.
Time for 2 more, and then we got the players.
Jimbo, a lot of people talked about the schedule coming into the year and how difficult the task ahead was. Now that you've been through it, finishing 8-5, winning a top 25 game, what do you hope your players take away from this season?
That the urgency you have to be great, the level of consistency and toughness and execution you have to be great, and at the end of the day, everybody, when you get to that certain level, they don't let you eat at that table unless you take a chair. You have to knock your way in it, and you got to understand those teams are great. They want to stay there. You got to want to be there. You got to be so hungry. You're willing to run over and kick anybody out there. You got to, and it takes a special mindset. It takes a special ingredient. Then at the end of the day, then the talent's going to equal out. Then it gets down to one thing: grit. Or can you sink your teeth down into it and go do it? And hopefully they see the level in which you got to be at, and we need to be at, and we're going to get at.
Hey, Coach. What can you say about Damani Richardson's night and just kind of the season he's had starting at safety all year?
Again, another true freshman to come in and play safety, which all the calls, all the things that go on, the variations that go on, that's a very complicated position to play with the physicality, can tackle, can run, can cover, makes some great plays, has a chance to be a tremendous player if he keeps improving.
All right, Coach, thanks. We'll get players.
Thank you all. Happy New Year.